Microphone.
Microphone. Microphone. Microphone.
Apparently need to turn it on. Do you know where to turn it on?
Please, for us all. For
We
all,
can hear you actually, but
for all of us. It just makes it easier to hear you and record you. Please. They have to give me a card. I don't want to stand there the whole time. They have to give me another card. That's a violation of the Brown Act.
Are you going to be able to do it though?
They have to give me a card.
You touch your card in.
I turned in for two. I'm glad I said something.
I mean, I'm really taken because I think this is not the time to wait. I mean, their claims of transparency, so we got to be bold, we got to be direct, we got to be upfront, and we got to put things out there. Since 2011, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department has led the country 3 times in killing the most people in the county of Los Angeles of any police department in the country. There is this perverse competition going on between the LAPD and the LA Sheriff's Department since 2011 that who's going to lead the country in killing the most people. But here we are talking about data collection, and we're not even speaking about the verbal threats, the intimidation, just the presence of an officer amongst people is a threat of force.
No, it's not.
So I
That's
think
very offensive.
I'm hearing the rest of the commissioners, but Mr. Chair, Mr. Bonner, I mean, I would really hope that you would lead this body to be more bold about it. Because if we're going to demand transparency, if we're going to demand, just any little sense of human dignity from this department, we can't just wait. People can't wait. People are dying. People are dying on the street. Just yesterday we were told that, the Sheriff's Department beat up somebody severely just in the city of Bell because this person had a mental health condition and they were refusing to get off the bus. I mean, this was something that, these are daily occurrences that are going on. So in essence, what is also happening is, and I would hope that as you are building this thing towards transparency, one of the things that we have seen is that many a times people get stopped and that data doesn't show up, but that information goes into a much more data file as well. And in this area, in this age of predictive policing, of predictive algorithms, of laser programs, and various forms of data-driven evidence-based policing, all of this information deems this person criminal. So when you're looking at data retention and when you're looking at data sharing with the public, I think transparency doesn't mean that it has to be incremental. Transparency means now that the people of Los Angeles County can't wait any longer. Thank you.
Mr. Gill?
Good morning. I wanted to urge the Commission to look at 2 pieces of legislation that we worked on that I think could put a lot of light into what the sheriffs now have to do, not only what they're willing to do. One is Assembly Bill 953, which was authored by Dr. Weber and passed 2 years ago, I believe. It was the most intense racial identity profiling act ever passed in the nation's history. It requires a lot of things regarding ending the use of profiling regarding religion, regarding identity, regarding race and age, and in all locations, on public transportation, in schools, on the streets, in custody. But I think the other thing that's very important to look at is it has very clear data reporting requirements. Our concern is that law enforcement across the state is already pushing back against those requirements. There was a series of public hearings, and the board that was put in place to assess what that bill should do put forth very strong recommendations. So if this board could weigh in on those recommendations and push that not only the LA County Sheriff's Department, but that sheriff departments and law enforcement departments across the state should be held to those strong recommendations, and that those are the procedures that should move forward. The second bill is Assembly Bill 2298, which we were also sponsors on last year. This is the first bill to require data collection around gang allegations, the use of shared gang databases, as well as the statewide CalGang database. Again, there is very clear that the data has to begin to hit the streets and be available to the public next year. I think it's 2018 in January. So being a loud, outspoken voice for why that data should be accessible to the community, it requires, in both of those cases, 953 and 2298, that data is based on race, gender, geography,
Ma'am,
age,
I do want to speak on this
and the
item.
reason for the stop or the reason for
I just gotta put my name down.
allegations.
Arthur.
Obviously, in pushing for an audit at the state level of Calgang and all the shared databases that
This is for item
feed
3.
into it, the things that were communicated saying
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
by the state auditor, that there were data was so incorrect.
This will be my last one. That's fine.
Entered that apparently there's as many as 42 babies under the age of 1 that were gang members, including 28 that were self-admitted gang members in the state. Hundreds of people who had no purge date because their purge date was entered incorrectly, and of course, horrible data in terms of entering neighborhoods that didn't exist, gangs that didn't exist, allegations that didn't exist. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McGill. One more comment, and that's from Arthur.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, thank you, Arthur. That's me. Thank you so much. Shopper. The time started before I spoke, so I hope there's a little leeway for me. So, first of all, yeah, I do recognize that concerns about police brutality do need to be documented. I think this is something that should be happening right away. I don't think there should be any delay. I respect the indications regarding mental illness. I think that's a serious issue here in the county. It's a little alarming to me. I see all of these billboards throughout the county advertising these are the 5 stages that demonstrate mental illness. So I think the Sheriff's Department should be able to provide the data as well. I do get a little concerned, though, because I feel like there's an unfair bias that begins to permeate in media that the Sheriff's Department are ready to beat down anybody who's committing a crime. And I just want to speak on behalf of the Sheriff's Department, specifically stationed in Cudahy, California. I was at the City Council meeting on Monday when some very roguish and violent brown supremacists, La Raza thugs, had shown up and began to attack individuals. They stole the property from one gentleman. There were only 3 deputies that are normally assigned to that city council meeting, but then because of the rising violence, there was a gentleman in a bandana identified with the Antifa movement who punched a young man in the face 3 times. The sheriff's deputies took care of that situation very effectively. So I just want to say right now, there was no incidents of misconduct by the sheriff's deputies at that Cudahy City Council meeting. I think that the commendations for our law enforcement don't happen enough, especially in these cases where citizens such as myself who are concerned about the larger concerns regarding illegal immigration, we find ourselves under attack more than protected, even by some local police departments. So again, I don't have a problem with providing data of misconduct, but I would say for the Sheriff's Department specifically, I've had the best experiences with them. I feel safe in sheriff's jurisdictions, and I want to commend specifically those deputies in Cudahy, California. Thank you. That's right. And so don't take their check.
This is about Boyle Heights, right?
Incorporating the amendments.
I don't know. It's about the ACLU protecting legal.
Incorporating those measures.
We're in support of the immigration apprehensions that have gone through Boyle Heights.
Oh, how about all? Yeah. Let me see it really quick there, Shins.
Yeah.
You bet you know. They're driving out black people. That's what they're doing. Enough's enough.
I think public comments are next.
And what I'll do is I'll bleed into it. You only get 2 minutes. That's ridiculous. I'm glad I brought that up.
Finalize it forwarded to Sheriff McConnell as a recommendation of the commission.
Yeah, I'm recording. On Facebook, it'll be uploaded later.
Sheriff LaHarge within 60 days, and our goal is that some.
Believe me, I don't have a problem with reporting police misconduct. I've endured it about 3 times already. But not from the sheriff.
All right, so now we're going to go to item 4 on the agenda. Item 4 is general public comment, an opportunity for the members of the public to.
We'll get out of here after this. Okay, so I got to make sure I scoop in.
Express their views to the commission on general matters.
Channel 7? Really?
Looks like we have a number of people that have signed up under item 4. We called the first 3 first, we have Robin.
Do you want to sign?
Arthur Shopper.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly. Thank you. My name's Arthur Shopper. I'm a member of We the People Rising. We believe in putting Americans first, not illegal aliens. I'm also a member of the Remembrance Project. That's why I'm wearing this shirt right now. Marcello Bizzarello was killed by an illegal alien 2 years ago by a 5-time deportee who was driving drunk again. And I want to commemorate DeAndre Mitchell, who was burned in a fire in the Westlake MacArthur Park region. 5 Americans were killed, and illegal aliens set fire to the building. Okay, I was at his court hearing for the murderer 3 days ago. I want to actually commend the Sheriff's Department for taking every step they can to ensure the enforcement of our federal immigration laws. I do not agree with his argument about the county's decision to try to turn the county into some kind of a sanctuary. I'm being a little inarticulate. I think he's amended that, and I approve his decision to oppose Senate Bill 54. This disastrous piece of legislation is part of the reason why young men like DeAndre Mitchell are dead, along with Marcello Bizzarello, and an average of 25 Americans a day murdered by illegal aliens. I commend the Sheriff's Department for instituting, to the best degree, their PEP program, ensuring as much cooperation as possible with ICE. His argument is to ensure that ICE doesn't have to go into neighborhoods and go after individual families directly. Although at this point, we need to ensure that Americans are taken care of, American citizens are protected no matter what their background. It is very offensive to me that the ACLU spends more time wanting to promote the needs and entitlements of illegal aliens and not American citizens. It's civil liberties, and civil liberties implies citizenship. Americans need to be put first. Americans first, of all backgrounds. And so, to make it very clear, we have victims of all backgrounds who are affected by illegal immigration and illegal aliens. This has to stop. I commend the sheriff for his efforts. Please support him in those. Thank you.
My name is Robin Bidston, and I'm also with the Remembrance Project and We the People Rising. We just wanted to attend the meeting today to say we support law enforcement at the sheriff's level as well as at the federal level. We are a great nation because we are a nation of laws.
I like that,
and our laws currently clearly state you are to enter our country legally and reside in our country legally. So in regard to the recent immigration enforcement apprehensions in Los Angeles, that is what is going forward, enforcement of immigration laws. And we need the global population to understand that we have a new president, a new attorney general.
Amen.
And their focus is removal of criminal aliens. The shirt that Mr. Shopper showed, the person in our country illegally that set the fire that killed those 5 Americans, he had been arrested for drug abuse in Los Angeles, as well as one time he kicked a woman in the head 10 times. He was allowed to stay in Los Angeles until his crime of killing 5 Americans occurred. If our laws had been enforced, that individual would not have been in Los Angeles. So we are just here to say we support law enforcement. We believe that those here in our country illegally should be subject to removal. Thank you.
That man's shameful. With the those middle fingers are not appropriate, sir.
How about civil rights?
Absolutely.
You don't believe
Go on those.
The police surveil us enough, sir, without you surveilling us.
My name is Chanel Temple, and I'm also with the people and also blacks and civil. I think we put in a card for you. Sullivan County is out of control with illegal immigration. Blacks are constantly under attack. not only have we been misplaced, lied on, misplaced off our jobs, we are being under attack and murdered. Boyle Heights, a couple years ago, 7 Latino gangs were arrested because they were firebombing Black African American citizens. I don't feel safe in my country. I have worked out there over 3 decades to pay taxes and contribute to the system. I have my birth certificate here. I was born here. My people have been here since the beginning of this country. And the Black community is under attack. And LA County is not doing anything about it. This is wrong. The Constitution said all men are created equal. Okay. That was a rumor because Blacks were captured as slaves. We got over that. You asked for us to forgive you. Now we're under attack again. And now people are coming from other countries attacking Blacks. And I feel like I'm being harassed. I'm being followed, I'm being threatened. I feel like a runaway slave. This is unfair, and we're going to shut it down. It needs to stop. We are human beings. And regardless, it's not only Boyle Heights, it was Hawaiian Gardens, it has been in Torrance, it's all over the place. It has to be recognized, and it has to be stopped. It should not take an act of Congress to get these monsters off of killing Blacks. Jamil Shaw, LA, Cheryl Green, in Long Beach, also a twin body in Norwalk, murdered by illegal immigrants. It's got to stop. Nothing to
Let me call up Elsa Algieri, and Mr. Khan.
Hello, good morning. I just would like to say I'm an immigrant from El Salvador. I've been living here since 1989. My mom just became a citizen 2 days ago. I'm really proud of her.
Wow.
I just want to tell you how we immigrants feel. I also represent the community for Make California Great Again. We feel that we're being pushed aside. We feel that
Fix the microphone. We can't hear you. Can you fix the microphone?
every person should do it the right way. We waited. Where I work, where my line of work is, I do home health care. Since last year, December 8th, that my full-time terminated because my patient passed away. I've been having a hard time finding another full-time job because I have a lot of competition with illegal immigrants that are taking our jobs. And they do it for cash and much cheaper rate. So I just want to ask all of you to please do the right thing, which is to help Americans first. We did it the right way, and I think that everybody deserves to be treated equally. We need to stand with the people of California. We need to stand with President Trump, and we need to do everything the right way. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Folger. Mr. Khan.
Thanks, Aldegar.
Thank you for the time. My parents are turning over their graves to see what's going on here in this country.
Microphone.
Okay. My parents are probably turning over their graves to see what the tragedy, the events that are taking place in our country here. Okay, you know, this is not good. Very bad. And my father said, I said to my dad, it's probably going to happen here again. He said, no, it can't happen because we're supposed to follow the U.S. Constitution. They can't violate it. Oh, there's no way it can happen. Okay, they said that in
She's
Germany
talking about the Holocaust.
in the 1930s. It can't happen there again. The Jews have been slaughtered for centuries. And it has nothing to do whether, how religious you were. Okay, if and that goes to the old days. Today, things are different, except now we're facing one other bad element. 2 elements, actually. That is Islam And also, we're also facing the radical Islam. Okay, the radical Islam is the Medina part of the Quran needs to be taken out. It needs to be reformed. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. Go to politicalislam.com. Okay, the other part is communism.
Yes.
Okay, you people are laughing and think it's funny. The communists have infiltrated this country, and it's legal in Israel as well, and it should be all made illegal to have communism, period. In Western culture, Western civilization. We are dealing with massive people who want to destroy a lot of human beings in this world. A lot of people. I support our sheriffs. Thank you.
Funny? I can't believe you think you're laughing.
I think it's very important.
Because they're communists.
They are communists, yes.
Look,
Yeah, you think it's funny. Wait till you lose all your rights. Then you don't have anything left.
One of the beautiful things about living in America is that we live in a democracy and we all have constitutional rights whereby we can come and voice them. But I want to emphasize to the chair that we keep this to what the item is at hand. Opportunity for members to publicly address the COC on items of interest that are within the subject matter of our jurisdiction.
This is very much in that subject matter.
There's a time and a place for everything. However, let's keep this within the subject matter of what the COC have been empowered to do and what is on our agenda. Let's keep the train on the railroad tracks.
He's allowed to comment. Immigration's count part of that. So is communism. That's a violation of the Brown Act right there.
Yeah, do good, Arthur.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Very, and Yolanda Lopez, if you please step forward. Mr. Khan?
The laws of the land, Jim Crow laws, genocide, enslavement, going to war.
All by Democrats.
That's what we're discussing today. But I wanted to bring up the subject of drones. I mean, we were really hoping that this issue should be resolved as soon as possible. And rather than being aspirational, I think it's really critical that we do agendize it in the June meeting and get it done with. Because when we speak about drones, we need to look at it in the bigger universe as well. Just 2 weeks ago, the Los Angeles Police Department used from its helicopter a high-powered rifle to shoot somebody and kill somebody in Upland, just near Burbank. This is their claiming the first time they used a helicopter,
but that's not
that has happened. So now the question is that how are we looking at the use of these aerial platforms, as we call them, or the drones? Last time when we were here last month, we spoke about that how police departments are building their air forces, and basically that's what's going on. We need to look at it that how North Dakota, as we've come here before as well and shared that, has a law which allows police drones to be equipped with non-lethal weapons. There's a law being passed in Connecticut which allows police drones to be equipped with lethal weapons. We have the Blue Lives Act in Congress right now that is giving police extraordinary amount of powers. We have 14 states that have legislation called Blue Lives Matter that are going to give police extraordinary amount of powers. We have laws in the state of North Dakota that are criminalizing protesters and are allowing people to drive.
Yeah, we're being criminalized.
And even just run over people as well. We have laws coming up in Arizona now that are talking about that if a protest is organized and it goes violent, the organizers of the protest are going to be held liable for that. We have had that happen in Los Angeles, but the LA Police Commission has taken a restraining order against protesters from Black Lives Matter. So I think when we look at these drones, we have to look at it in the larger context of the extent of militarization.
So did you hear that, everybody? LAPD, they issued a restraining order against Black Lives Matter. Because for them, Black lives don't matter.
You cannot have anything like suspended or like policy and protocol. You can't have people forces flying over. Thank you.
Good job, John. I should know.
My comment is also regarding the sheriff's use of drones. On this, we know there are a few things we know to be true. We know the sheriff already has a wide, deep, expensive, and somewhat unlimited array of weaponry. We know they do not need drones to be able to navigate the situations they are proposing them for. More importantly, we know without a doubt that drones are used by police agencies and will be used by the local sheriff to gather information. This is called incidental data collection, and it already happens on a large scale across the U.S., and drones make the acquisition of this information more easy. In the largest county of Minnesota, Hennepin County, this is already happening. Drones were brought in quietly without that information being shared with the public. The first drone was used to look for a missing student, even though the drones were supposed to be grounded at that time, as police had promised. Drones in that county are now being used to gather information on citizens. They're sent up in the air to capture information, and they present this as being okay because whatever information they say does not show criminal behavior is supposed to be deleted within 30 days. Police there are not forthcoming about the full scope of the program, and requests from the public for information are improperly denied, if not willfully obstructed. This is where we are headed with the Sheriff's Department here. In Texas, the Montgomery Sheriff's Office is considering using the drones they already have to shoot tear gas canisters and rubber bullets. The reason provided for this is so they might be used in crisis situations, but there's no doubt this type of weaponry will and can be used on protesters and for whatever other reason the sheriff sees fit. And let's not forget who these weapons of surveillance and harm would be used on disproportionately. It would be the black and brown communities, the ones that are already over-policed, over-surveilled.
Okay, you know what? That's a lie. Black communities are not over-policed. They don't report crimes. They don't say anything. In Chicago, they don't even show up. In Boyle Heights, they don't show up. It's perversion. Oh my God. These are some pretty hideous people.
My name is Jerry Dietrich. Just like Marlene.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I am a member of the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition.
Oh my God.
Although I am addressing the entire body today, I'd like to direct my comments to Commissioner Rubin because she is in charge of drones. Sorry. I was led to believe that the sheriff wouldn't use these drones until policy was made by this board. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. To my surprise, in the search for the lost child last week, the sheriff's deputy announced at a press conference that the drone had been used to not look for the child. In my opinion, the sheriff will do what they want, no matter what this body sets forth as parameters. They will lie as always. So I feel the best resolution that this body can produce regarding the drones is gun drones. Thank you.
Ms. Lopez. And then Ms. Monroy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I speak a little bit English, but it's better for me. Somebody traduce me. Soy una inmigrante oaxaqueña del estado de Oaxaca, en México, y aparte abogo por la educación de calidad en la ciudad de Campton.
Hello, I'm an immigrant from Oaxaca, Mexico, and I'm advocating for immigrant rights.
En la city of Campton. Se ha cometido conmigo una injusticia. Se me acusó de 3 cargos de felonía. Aquí estuvo involucrado el sheriff y la policía escolar de Campton en una, pienso yo, corrupción de parte de toda la ciudad de Campton junto con los miembros de la mesa directiva del distrito escolar de Campton.
I was involved in 3 felonies in the Compton city. Stating that she was involved in 3 felonies in the city of Compton. She was unjustly accused. There was unjustly accused. She was accused of 3 felonies in the city of Compton.
You got it. Yeah. That has to be good interpretation. Those are 2 different things that she said.
Yeah, that implies something else.
Okay.
Notice how they didn't translate it.
Education in the city of Campton, and they accused me for 3 felonies. And I think so this is a corruption department of sheriff, because never I received before to the report, And the complaint is, the corruption is that Department of Sheriff, Department of the School Police, and a court too. Because never I received the report, my papers in the court said they arrest me. Never they arrest me. Never I go to the jail. And when I received in April 21, 2014, received papers to the court, and the felony is there. During 2 years, go to the court, and one civil case and one criminal case. They accused me to the criminal. During the meetings in the school, the police school coming and they want to arrest me. And I say, you arrest me here. They ask me for my documents, for my ID to California, and I am citizen to the United States now. And this isn't justice. It's not only me, it's the other, my partner too, but it's not possible. She's here now. And I paid to the lawyer for civil case. The civil case is there now. It's a restraining order for the superintendent during 3 years. They don't permit go to the board meetings. They don't permit go to the schools. I'm in the jail in my property city. For during last year is my first presentation in public, support to the teacher for the corruption there. And my question is,
they gave her a little extra because of translation.
Nobody doing nothing in Compton. Everybody has a problem there. Parents don't participate in the schools because they have a steering with the police school. And now the case is in my partner and me as investigator too. Nobody support. We pay a lot of money, and that case is a federal government, and the federal government said only 3 police in Compton, but in all record is a lot of 3 police. Why you support me? Because I and represent to the Latino parents, we need a justice. Now, and this new administration in Washington, it's a
why does she get extra time?
They don't want
she's a fucking ego alien, that's why. And that's what our taxpayers is paying.
Yeah, they
don't want it.